The ultimate comfort system from Lennox is beyond quiet, delivering perfect air at a noise level that is, well, unheard of. Maybe it's time to rethink your air with the ultimate comfort system.
You may be surprised to find out what your heating and cooling system can really do. The air quality inside your home is more important today than ever, and the experts at HVAC Services are here to help. Cleaner air is closer than it's ever been. Contact us at hvacservices.com.
I'm a lifelong resident of Barron County, born and raised, never moved away. My husband that I'm married to, we've been married for 31 years, and he's a lifelong resident of Barron County also. So born and raised in Barron County. I grew up the first few years in the city limits of Glasgow, and then early in the elementary we moved out to the county, and that's where I'm born and raised around the Austin-Lucas area. Went to school down there, graduated here locally, Barron County High School in 1984. Seems like a long time ago, and yes, it was. Excited about that. Being a resident of Barron County has been very special to me. Small town atmosphere, something some people like, some people don't like. But it's great to know that you see people on the street and you know them.
And knowing everyone has its perks, Sherry met her husband at church. In fact, the two knew each other from a young age at First Free Will Baptist Church in Pritchardsville. They were in a youth group together, and knowing each other, they eventually became a married couple.
Well, I grew up going to church at First Free Will Baptist Church here at Pritchardsville in Glasgow. My husband's family was a part of that origination of that church. And we started there, and we were both part of the church youth group. We didn't date each other at that time, but we were part of it, and there's always been this thing going around. Our first play that we were in church, he was the dad and I was the mom. So I always tell that story. That's kind of funny, but my family and his family kind of ties that church together. So he went away, he joined the service, and he was in the Army for 8 years. And he came back, and he was actually attending my college graduation at Lindsey Wilson College with someone else for his aunt. And he seen me, he almost didn't recognize me. He'd been gone for a while. I didn't recognize him either. Of course, he joined the Army and he changed a lot. And his cousin was riding with him, and he said, you know, why don't you ask her out? And he said he didn't think anything of it. And then at church, one of our former Sunday school teacher said, Donna, why don't you ask Sherry out? So he called, asked me out. We dated for 4 years and been married for 31.
It wasn't until 1993 that the couple gave birth to their only daughter, Megan Jones.
But it was scary. We'd been married for so long, our parents were like, they're never going to have children. So kind of on a comical note, you know, I had this big reveal plan to let them know that they were going to be grandparents, my mom and dad for the first time. And his parents, there were several grandkids already in the family, but I was going to do this big reveal party. I was very sick in my pregnancy, so I couldn't hide it from them. So they kept wondering why I was sick. So I had to tell them over the telephone. And I remember calling my mom and telling her. And I said, well, guess what? I said, you're going to be a grandparent. She said, oh, you're going to adopt a dog? We'd been married for so long, but it's a special thing. It very, very much is for anybody, very much so.
Sherry had worked in Barron County government for 1 year before becoming a mother, but her roots started many years before that, on the Glasgow Square, in fact.
I was thinking about this, and when you called me for the interview, it's kind of Glasgow Square is basically my career path. I started working while I was a senior in high school at a children's clothing store here on the square, Kitty Corner, originally called Kitty Town, where Gillum Water and Hampton have their law office. From there, right after high school, I started working for Carol Redford Jr. and Woody Gardner in their law firm as a legal secretary. And that was directly across from Crow Funeral Home, so not very far from the square. While working there, I went to college at night, working full-time, and obtained my Associate of Arts degree in Small Business Management. Judge Gardner moved his firm partnership to Bobby Richardson's. I went to work for them, which was just half a block up the square. And then the opportunity presented itself for me to work in the office of the county judge executive for Woody Gardner then, and we moved to the Barron County Courthouse. So my jobs have been right here within the radius of the square.
Now she's serving under her 5th county judge executive of Barron County. She says her time has been a learning point over the last 28 years. And while times have been tough, there are so many positive memories.
Now, there was a joke going on for a while amongst the community that after Judge Gardner retired, our judges only stayed in one term. And they were wondering why. And they said, well, Sherry's still there. So it was kind of a joke if I was running them off, but I appreciate what I worked with each one of them. It was interesting. It was a learning experience, is what I try to do with each one of them. They learn me, I learn them, and basically we try to do the best that we can.
It's a lifetime of events that give Sherry the love she has for people and her community, but it's through her faith and relationships that she says she's been sustained.
First thing is faith. I lean a lot on my faith. All these things that I've described to you, I mean, you see footprints along the way. You think, how did I get to this position? But that's faith. Faith is first. And then comes family. You know, family is very important to me. You know, my husband, my daughter, my mom, dad, my stepmom, stepdad, family, my husband's family. Very important in all decisions. You know, everything that you do comes that way. And then friends. I've met some great people through work, through personal. I'm active in my church, Sunday school teacher, children's church, worker.
This is Sherry Phillips Jones. And this has been Meet My Neighbor.